All right. I think Ben is now connecting to audio because I started the live stream.
Gotcha.
It's not ready yet, but it's close.
Received it, Carol. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. And Chris is signing on.
Okay. I am missing it.
Okay. Ben says that he's still trying to connect to audio.
Okay.
Ben, if you can hear me, this doesn't seem to be working. Oh, can you hear? Can you
Yeah,
hear?
I got you, Carol.
Okay, all right, we're good then.
Beautiful.
Okay.
Good. I'd like to call the meeting of the Budget Committee, February 9th, to order.
Just note for the record, the members present, please.
Right. Members present are Craig Curtis, Christopher Goulart, Ben Gauthier, myself, George Kroll. Jenna Magnuski is not on tonight. Let's go over the minutes of January 25th, please, that Chris sent out. Chris, the only addition I would like is you say who's present. I would like my name down there saying I was absent.
Oh, I didn't put that?
No.
Okay.
Okay, if you could do that.
Yeah, of course.
Let me just see something. Are there any other additions or corrections to the minutes?
I'll move that they be approved with your addition, George.
Okay, is there a second?
Second that. This is Ben.
Is Ben seconding? Further discussion? None? Okay, all in favor of the minutes with that correction, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, no.
Let the record show it was unanimous.
Yes. Number 3 on our agenda is, I wanted to talk about, I went online and I looked at the YouTube video from the meeting of our last meeting. And as far as the charter goes, I pulled out the charter, and the charter, our section is 502. And I know there's going to be a charter review commission. And the budget, section 502 points to the budget committee and its responsibilities. It's been in there for quite a while. It's had some approved the election of July 11th, 02, and then there was 11/5/02, and it goes all the way up to approved other changes on 11/4/14. I've gone over it. I think that we need to have somebody from our committee if they either want to serve on the Charter Review Commission or we need to draft an article. This was all done before we had a town administrator. And now that we have a town administrator and Tony, there's a lot of sections here that don't really pertain to us. It pertains to Tony. So I would appreciate it if everybody would go and look at the town charter, section 502, go over it and see what we don't have to do anymore and what our recommendation would be to the Charter Review Commission and the council.
George, I don't have a copy of the, obviously, the ordinances and
I'll get it to you.
everything. Could just that section, if you could just
Sure.
send it to us.
Yeah, 502 and 503 in the budget. And I'll get that to you. Okay, everybody?
Okay.
Because when I watched the YouTube video of our last meeting, I think a couple of people went a little bit overboard, asking questions that we really should ask the department heads or the was on the school. The school's run by the school committee, and I think that's where it needs to start. Okay, our communications. I did ask John McNamee if he wanted to join us this evening. He said he didn't have anything new really to say. He said he would be at there's another budget workshop tomorrow night, and he hopes to have them vote on the budget and submit it, because everything has to be in by March 1st. So he will be on our next meeting, which is on the 24th, February 24th. When we get around to the school, I'll talk to Chris, because Chris, I believe you went to that.
Yeah, I was there. Yeah.
Okay, so we'll go over that in a minute. The other thing received was from the town council through the administrator through the town council and to us on the recommendation for the salary of the town clerk. And the recommendation is a salary of $59,500. And I would like to have a motion that we support the $59,500.
What increase is that? Or I'll make the motion, but I'd like to ask some questions.
Okay.
I'll move the motion. 59.5.
Is there a second? I'll second it. Okay, now let's have a discussion. Tony?
What?
Can we talk to Tony?
Well, I think Craig had a question on that, but I can just briefly fill in. The bump up is from 57.5 to 59.5.
So that represents what percent increase roughly?
I did not work that out, but I can do that for you in a minute.
Okay.
We're trying to, due to the other negotiations in town, we're trying not to really say that number. Okay, Craig?
It's easy enough to figure out. You just have to
No, it
calculate it.
Yeah.
It's the whole thing. It's easy enough.
I'm dead without a calculator. So it's all right, fine. Let's not go
Okay.
there.
Because we'd rather keep that out, okay?
Mhm.
So I have is there any other discussion on it?
Well, my concern is if it's enough, that's all.
That, if I may, that sort of addresses some of the questions that you folks had, that the committee had on one of the previous meetings. I think it goes really along those lines. How's that?
Good.
Anything else? Any other discussion? Okay, the motion's on the floor to recommend the salary of $59,500 for the town clerk. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
And that's as recommended to us by the town council, correct?
Yes.
Okay, then aye.
Let it be known it was unanimous,
Thank you.
and I will send an email to our town clerk tomorrow. Okay, about that. And we're legal on that, Carol.
Thank you.
Okay, number 6 is the school budget. General discussion. Since John's not here, Chris, want to say anything about the budget workshop?
Yeah, so one of the questions I had, so when they were talking about the improvements to the auditorium or gymatorium or whatever they call it, they were talking about how originally they thought they were going to put it towards the school budget, but now they were going to put it towards capital. Is that still what's going to happen now? Or?
We had a discussion today. Tony? you like to answer that?
Certainly, yes, I can. They actually did spend quite a bit of money already doing some upgrades in there, although that we need to continue or to finish it off actually, so it'll be functional to be used as you pointed out, a gym / auditorium, not just for the school, but also for the public at large or the school or the town as needed. So there's a need for an additional 50,000 in there. That's correct.
Okay.
And we thinking that because that's way over the 5, it should be more of a capital rather than just a budget item.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so what I guess after he took that out, the increase from last year was right around 2%. You know, there were a lot of sort of, I guess, improvements or additions to sort of it seems like the digital systems, the computer systems, different softwares. It seems like there's a lot more this year than in the past. I think a lot of that had to do with the, you know, they're doing half and half. Some students are at home, some are in the classroom, and I think it sounds like they want to continue that going forward.
Okay.
It's I don't know. To me, everything seems, you know, seems good.
Good. Good. Well, hopefully, are you going to go tomorrow night? You planning on it or no?
Yeah, I'd like to.
Okay.
You know, I mean, what, you know, he you was talking, and he mentioned this at our meeting, I guess 2 weeks ago. You know, there were a lot less, not a lot less, but there were less, you know, kids. The you know, attendance was down this year because people were homeschooled, but they, you know, they anticipate them to be back. They anticipate more out of district tuition kids
To come back.
so it's you know, I don't know, it wasn't a normal year.
No,
You know,
not at all. Not at all.
so it's kind of tough to see where it goes from this year to next year, just because of how sort of how things are and how things went. But
Right.
I mean, you know, and personally, I thought everything kind of seemed reasonable.
Good. Okay. Good. Good. Well, let us know if anything changes.
Was there discussion, Chris, on the teacher salaries for, with the, you know, the addition of semi-remote learning and semi-in-person? Is that going to be a change from, you know, what was done in the past?
No,
I know
they
it's
didn't.
subject to
Like
contract negotiations. Yeah.
No, I mean, they didn't mention it at all. I know, you know, I know Jenna had wanted to bring it up with John tonight. I think she wanted to sort of follow up with him because he had said he would talk to the superintendent about it. But I'll, you know, I can let her know that he wasn't here to you know, tonight, and she can kind of follow up again. But I mean, I don't know if George, if that's sort of what you were talking about at the beginning, but I think that is a sort of a question for the school committee.
It is.
But nobody asked that meeting. Jenna wasn't able to go to the school committee meeting last week, so
She needs to get that question to the school committee.
okay.
And yeah, go through the proper channels, and then we're fine. Okay. That's all.
Mhm.
Okay.
And if she's not there next tomorrow, I can bring it up for her tomorrow as well. Just ask that question.
Okay. Sure. Okay. Thank you very much for.
No, that's just a point, Chris, when we were
Sure.
building or rebuilding the school, there was a lot of talk about the library media center, you know, expense was going to be a benefit to the whole town, because they were going to work out a deal with the library on co-use of the space and everything. And then it turned out that, well, from a safety perspective for the kids and everything, that's really not practical. So, but a lot of people in town at the time heard part of the rationale for the bigger bill for the library media center, that it was going to be open to more of the townspeople to use. And so I think it'd be nice to make sure that they're really clear on what and when our expectations for, you know, other people's use of the gymnatorium.
Okay.
Very good.
Yeah. The other thing was the one piece that they and I should have brought the I don't have the paper in front of me from the other day, I guess there wasn't a paper because it was all online. I didn't print it out. But the one thing that they said that they could defer to next year, but they rather not, is they're talking about like upgrading the phone system, I guess. So it's all sort of like internet phone instead of sort of just like phone line. And they said that's something they can and put everything onto the cloud. So it's something that like they can wait till next year, but they'd rather do it this year.
Any dollar number there?
I thought it was like 6,000 maybe. I'd have to look back to see
Okay.
exactly.
Okay. I'll see if it's in the budget tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Like,
Is that another area where a town-wide strategy might make sense instead of just doing it as one department, even though, they're a massive department?
I
I
don't,
think Tony can speak to that, because the town is upgrading. Public safety and the town hall are upgrading their phones, and that's what they're alluding to.
Okay, yeah, because I remember Tony saying that he was trying to work on a unified strategy for everybody. So as long as the school's part of that, then, and they're talking to Tony, that's great.
Right, okay. What happened is, well, what's going on right now so far is we upgrading the town hall as well as public safety. However, John Gabriel, who's the IT person for the school, he's also on board with us. He's actually the one spearheading this project with us. And certainly he is looking at that as well for the school.
That's great. Thanks.
Right. So there is another thing is light retrofitting for savings. We are doing that here in the town hall through RISE, and they also will be doing the same over there at the school. That will generate quite a bit of savings as well.
Good. Is there anything else on that? The audit. Anything on the audit?
It's still pending. We've had a couple issues that we're trying to clarify between the audit themselves and Joe. They're trying to iron out some things. And I've seen a couple of emails going back and forth on that. So we really don't have a definite answer yet, unfortunately.
You expect it soon this month?
Yes, we are. Well, from the emails, I could see there was quite a bit of pressure to get this done soon.
Okay.
Do you know if there are any, may I ask a question?
No.
Do you know if there are any changes to the management letter?
Not at this point. I haven't really had a chance to look through it. Okay.
Everybody, I picked up my book today. Thank you very much, Tony. Craig's got his. Clifton's got his. Ben, you haven't had a chance to go over and get it, right?
No, this was a long day. I'll try to grab it probably Thursday.
Anytime. It's here. If I'm not in the office, it's right on my desk.
Right.
Thank you, Tony.
Jenna will get hers too. So the council, a couple of things else here. We discussed the town hall today. I know this is a general budget discussion. We talked about the town hall today. Would you like to say anything about the town hall? Tony, or?
You want me to say something? Yes.
Our general discussion we had.
Yeah, exactly. I like it the way you phrase that, general discussion. I know there's been a lot of discussion about the town hall, but I think this is the year that we need to bite the bullet and let's get it done, especially the outside of the building. If we can get to the inside at this point, but at least the outside, we need to get to it. And bonding is not an option because we would have to go through all the logistics and it's too late to do any of that. However, I would propose that we go off of some financing at this point. The rates are excellent at this time. And certainly it would be a worthwhile. That being said, Bob and I have been doing a little more homework along with Joe to figure out what is the best option. 1, 2, come up the justification. What is going to be in that package, to justify the request.
Right.
Well,
go ahead.
may I make a general suggestion? If we're going to borrow, and it is a good time to borrow, and I bet you the borrowing rates are probably less than the bond rates. what kind of amortization are we thinking about in terms of the loan itself?
That's where we're trying to figure out, one, what would be the best institution, to get, at least there's some options. We have Washington Trust, we have Bay Coast, the local, and we're looking for at least another option to figure out what those numbers play out.
Okay, are there any other, if we're doing this for the town hall, are there any, I think one of the things that we don't do well is take care of our buildings enough. And are there other projects that should be included in this one-shot transaction?
Well, it depends on the appetite, and again, on the numbers, as you said, we have to look, at least we're looking at $1 million right now. That's what it would take to really wrap this building up. Because it's not just the painting any longer, it's the roof right here over my head that it's dripping into 3 of the office. It's the building, the roof onto the finance department, the treasurer's office. So we're going a little bit beyond, and it's been deferred, but at this point in time, we need to get pretty serious. Now, in addition to this building, is there something else? Well, we have the parking lot that we've been talking about. There is a need for a building for DPW if we're gonna, do some work, demolish that for access to the parking lot. So there are some things, that I'll be putting on paper.
So
Okay,
do,
well,
do
I
these
would
all
welcome
show
it.
up? Go ahead. Sorry, Craig. Do these show up in like the capital plan as the prioritized jobs, or how do these appear?
They will. I have not completed, that's one of the pieces that you're not going to see on your binder right now, although I worked on it already this past Saturday, and I'll continue to work through it so that you can see the 5-year as well as the, FY22.
Capital, right. Our problem also is we have to have this in by March 1st.
Correct. So there is quite a bit of work to roll up sleeves and move on.
Council's got to approve it, so.
Right.
Okay.
Well, the intent is to have this before the council for the 18th.
Right.
So are there actually contractor estimates on these different work packages, or how do we know what kind of a loan we're asking the people to float?
Right. For the envelope of the building, I have numbers from a contractor that provided those. For the roofs, Bill Moore is actually working on those, and he'll be getting those numbers to me.
Very good. Thank you, Tony. Any other questions on that? Where we are? Thank you. Everybody get their books. Ben, get your book as soon as you can. And we'll see. I'll talk to Jenna, see if she can pick up her book. Our next meeting is on the 24th, 7 o'clock Zoom. At that point, we will should have the school department budget, and we should have the town council budget, hopefully too. We'll be in good shape. Is there anything else?
And the management letter
Hopefully,
would hopefully be.
hopefully.
When is the when is the audit due? Isn't it due around mid-December, January?
December 31st. Yep.
Where?
Oh, December 31st, we have to have all our numbers into to the auditors.
And they gave an extension to January 31st.
They did.
I don't know if they extended it again because we're already beyond the January date.
Right.
They actually did. Yes, they did.
Okay.
I'm just concerned about the management letter.
Mhm.
What is the delay, Tony? Is it the management letter or is it accounting?
No, it's some accounting pieces.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Is there anything else? A motion to adjourn until the 24th at 7 p.m.
I'll move it.
To a second.
Second.
Thank you very much. All in favor? Aye.
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 Thank you very much, Carol. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Good night, Carol. Good night, Tony.
Good night.
Good night.